I've said it before, and I will keep saying it. NASA will always cancel or postpone their moon landing. They have been stringing you along for 50 years, consistently telling you that they're going back to the moon. They always tell you, every single president has told you we're going back to the moon. They've used that to create excitement in the space-loving community. And it's okay, you love space. I used to love space too. I used to, think that we used to go to outer space. But guess what? You gotta be a critical thinker, okay? You just have to look at it for what it is. They are taking $70 million every single day, telling you that they're going back to the moon, and then giving you excuses constantly, stringing you along year after year, president after president, and it's never gonna change. They are not going back to the moon. They could go to the moon in 1969 when they could deceive you with technology. They could basically make a movie of them going to the moon and then say, look, we actually went to the moon. And then people would believe it. But did you know that most people, I wouldn't say most people, but more people didn't believe that we actually went to the moon when we claimed to go to the moon. But as years went by and they kept indoctrinating the students to believe that we went to the moon, more people now, the higher percentage of the population, believe we actually went to the moon today than in 1969. Because when they watched it on TV, a large majority of people are like, what is this? This is a joke, right? Like, they're on the moon. What have they ever done for us? What do they do for us to get $26 billion every year? Nothing. They do nothing for us. They're just another branch of the government taking our money, extracting our energy and resources, and giving us cartoons and stringing us along saying we're going back to the moon. But guess what? We never go back to the moon. We always postpone, and we will always postpone because it's not something that's even possible. You cannot land on the moon. Even if they had technology to fly high in the sky, they still could not land on the moon. It's impossible. And think about it. They tell you that we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, right? And they take off relatively close to the equator. But they also tell you that we're orbiting the sun 66,600 miles per hour. And the sun and the planets are shooting through the Milky Way galaxy at 500,000 miles an hour. And the Milky Way galaxy is shooting through the universe at 1.3 million miles per hour. So think about it. They're saying you have to take off from Earth, right? And then at some point you're in between the Earth and the sun. You go into outer space. Now you have to land on the moon. They say the moon goes about 2,200 miles per hour around the Earth. So how do you leave a surface that's supposedly spinning 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, and all those other speeds I said, take off, and then get into outer space, which is supposedly a vacuum, and then land on the surface of another object that's supposedly going 2,200 miles an hour on its own, orbiting the Earth? And at what point do you think they wouldn't get left behind? Why wouldn't the Earth and moon just take off on them? They go out into outer space and boom, now they can't keep up. How are they supposed to keep up and land on this moving object? They're going in a completely another trajectory. It's not even possible. And then they're saying they land on the moon, easy peasy. And then when they take off from the moon, they have to take off from the moon, and then they're back in the vacuum of space, and then they go back into Earth's orbit, and it doesn't take off on them. It doesn't even make sense. But more importantly, they're always going to postpone the moon missions. They're going to keep telling you they're going back. They're going to keep pushing it further along. And they're going to give you some excuse. Oh, well, this thing isn't working right, so we're not going to be able to go. It's not going to be safe, blah, blah, blah. It's 2026 now, okay? You literally did it easily in 1969. Even after they said that we'll never do it, it's impossible, but you just did it. You know why you did it? Because you did it in a movie studio. And that movie studio created a movie, played it to people. It was a short movie, maybe a few minutes. Played it to people, told people it was real, and people didn't even consider that it wasn't real. And that's why people believed it. But more people didn't believe it before than now, because they didn't go through generational indoctrination through the Department of Education. Anyways, Dusty Truth, signing out. Have a great day. Watch what you believe.